Alright, so once again, as usual, I'm going to be recommending 3 animes for you guys to watch. Obviously, all 3 I have watched myself, and I do enjoy them, and I did enjoy them myself. Obviously, I would not be recommending them to you if I didn't enjoy them. So before we get on with the recommendations, please remember to leave a like and subscribe. So let's get on with the video. The first anime I'm going to recommend is the Saga of Tanya the Evil. Saga of Tanya the Evil is about a cold, logical Japanese office worker who dies and is reborn by a godlike being into a war-torn world similar to World War I, where he becomes a young girl named Tanya, and instead of trying to be kind or spiritual, Tanya focuses only on surviving and living safely by using intelligence and strict military rules to rise through the army ranks, hoping to get a quick desk job far from danger. But her extreme competence and fearless decision making keeps placing her in the most brutal battles, turning her into a famous and feared soldier. Throughout the story, Tanya refuses to believe in or respect the god who reincarnated her, seeing faith as manipulation, while the anime shows how war, system of power, and blind obedience can turn rational people into monsters without them ever thinking of themselves as evil. This series is so involved in the world and world building aspect of it that you basically forget that it's even an isekai. It doesn't really have the typical isekai story plot. The beginning of it, yeah, is like an isekai, being that he or she gets reincarnated into this world. But after that, it is really involved in the story. So yeah, you're not even thinking about, oh, this is an isekai. It is not typical plot isekai at all. The only time you ever really think about it is when this being X, the person or being, I should say, that reincarnated Tanya, whenever she brings it up, it does remind you what type of series this is. But other than that, this could basically just be a battle shonen anime, and it is definitely enjoyable that way. And the main character is a non-typical main character when it comes to these sort of action-packed heavy series. Not a typical main character at all. Definitely unique. The next anime I'm going to recommend is Kaiji Ultimate Survivor. After one of his coworkers fails to repay a debt, known bum Kaiji is pressured by loan sharks to settle a large sum of cash. Since Kaiji has little money and no future prospects of his own, he's unable to return what his colleague borrowed. Faced with massive financial burdens, he is given an offer to board a ship, and that spending one night aboard the ship, he'll be able to clear all of his debts. What seems like a simple night of gambling quickly turns into a game of strategy and betrayal, with the losers of the tournament being forced to serve life in servitude. Kaiji must choose his actions and allies carefully, but this is the only beginning of the series of gambling. So you might notice or be thinking that this series is kind of old. It aired in 2007, if you would consider that an old series. I know there's a lot of anime that did air before that are still considered classics. But speaking of classics, this series, no joke, is one of the most underrated anime series of all time. And I know I say that, or a lot of other people say that all the time, but I do mean it. It is one of the most underrated anime series of all time. If I could describe this series, even though it is, about gambling in general, it has the high stakes planning and plotting of Death Note while having the strategies of Code Geass. It really has that level of other series put into it. You'd have to watch it to see it, and I do highly recommend it. And a lot of people don't know about this series, but it's good. The next anime I'm going to recommend is You Are Miss Servant. You Are Miss Servant follows a highly skilled former assassin who abruptly steps away from a life defined entirely by violence secrecy, and blind obedience, and she begins working as a live-in maid for an ordinary high school boy. Even though she has almost no understanding of everyday life, personal freedom, or genuine human connection, because she was raised solely to carry out missions without question. As she takes on simple household tasks like cooking, cleaning, and running errands, she slowly learns what it means to make choices for herself and form relationships. And she experiences kindness basically for the first time in her life. She has a pretty dark past that, involves trauma, instincts of assassinating people, which creates awkward and emotional distant personality throughout the series. And it makes you wonder whether someone shaped entirely by violence can truly escape their past and build a new identity rooted in peace and humanity. There's not really much for me to say about this series. It is, not an action anime. But what I can say is that the main characters, especially the girl, makes the show what the show is. It's almost like it takes a character from a whole different type of genre and then it places that character in like a comedy slice of life romance series. That's basically what this anime is, and surprisingly it does work. And that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Once again, remember to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.